There are some games that you remember because they were masterpieces. And then there are some games that you remember because they're weird, loud, and burned directly into your brain at age 8. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nanosaur. Nanosaur is one of those games that lived on early Macs, quietly waiting for kids to stumble into it, and when you did, suddenly you were a futuristic dinosaur with a rocket launcher, nukes, and a ticking clock before the world ended. No tutorial, no explanation, just vibes. So the question isn't, was Nanosaur good? The real question is, why does it feel so fun all these years later? And for all of you watching, welcome back to Matchpoint Gaming. This is a series of games of my childhood. This is coming in at number 9, so let's dive in. What even is Nanosaur? On paper, Nanosaur sounds like nonsense. You're a genetically engineered dinosaur sent back in time to recover dinosaur eggs before a meteor wipes out the planet. And yeah, that's it. That's the entire premise. No cutscenes, no exposition dumps, just go. You land in a big open level and the clock just starts ticking. And the game basically says, figure it out. And honestly, in today's day and age of games, that's kind of incredible. There's something refreshing about a game that doesn't care whether you understand it or not. It assumes you'll just learn it or you'll die trying. One of the boldest design choices Nanosaur made is refreshing. It refuses to teach you anything. There's no tutorial explaining how the weapons work, what the objective actually is, why the pterodactyls matter, or how the jetpack even activates. You just experiment and try things out. You shoot things. You accidentally launch a nuke at your own feet, but somehow through trial and error, it all starts to click. The jetpack only activates after flying high enough on top of a pterodactyl, which you only discover basically by accident. That kind of discovery feels magical. I don't feel like modern games trust players that much anymore. Nanosaur did, and somehow it worked. The fact that the only way to activate the jetpack is by flying on top of a pterodactyl, that's pretty sweet. You become sort of a prehistoric Iron Man, soaring across the landscape now that you can actually fly and shoot things and start raining terror from above. It's pretty cool. So now let's talk about the weapons. Weapons go way harder than they should. This game did not need multiple ammo types, cluster bombs, homing missiles, literal nukes, and yet here we are. There's something deeply satisfying about the escalation. You start by picking off dinosaurs carefully, and before you know it, you're wiping out entire herds with nuclear-level firepower. Launching a nuke and watching dozens of dinosaurs vanish at once never gets old. It's overkill in the best way, just absolutely perfect. So now let's talk about Intense Mode, because it definitely earns its name. This mode doesn't mess around. Enemies hit harder, there's so many of them, it's hard to even survive. Mistakes are greatly punished, and this goofy dinosaur game turns into a literal survival challenge. You're definitely more focused on balancing your time, ammo positioning, and trying to avoid being overrun from the sheer number of dinosaurs coming at you. The pressure of the meteor timer looming over everything definitely adds on to the urgency. You can't just wander around endlessly. You do need to kind of keep that in mind, that the world will end, whether you're ready or not. Going along with that, the soundtrack and sound design go unreasonably hard. The music in Nanosaur is loud, proud, and unapologetic. It definitely doesn't fade into the background. It demands attention. It announces itself. But yet somehow it works perfectly with all the chaos going on. The sound effects are equally as strong. Weapons feel powerful, explosions feel massive. Dinosaurs sound genuinely threatening. They scared me when I was a kid. I was legitimately terrified to play this game. And for a game of its era, the audio design punches way above its weight. So you're probably thinking, with all these awesome mechanics, everything that the developers thought of, there's got to be a ton of awesome different levels that you can try out. Well, that's the unfortunate thing, because there was so much missed potential with this game. Nanosaur only has one level. One level with all those mechanics, all the different weapons that you can get, all the different types of dinosaurs, the different climates that you go through on each level, the lava, volcanoes, jungle, all that in just one level. And it kind of hurts. You can feel the potential. The different biomes, more objectives, escalating difficulty, expanded mechanics. This could have been expanded so easily. But instead it feels a little bit unfinished. More of like a proof of concept that accidentally became legendary. But for me, that's probably why it stuck with me all this time. It left room for imagination of what could be. It let me wonder what could have been. But instead it is what it is. And at that, it's pretty dang fun. And like most other games made during this time, it's a bit clunky. The camera is rough, the controls are outdated, precision can definitely be frustrating, and yet none of it ruins the experience. It's still a very playable game. Nanosaur isn't necessarily about mastery, it's more just about momentum. Once you're in your flow state, the clunkiness fades and the game is just fun. And honestly, you forget about the clunkiness of the gameplay and you're just focusing on destroying those dinosaurs and capturing those eggs. So why does Nanosaur still work today? Despite all its flaws, Nanosaur is still really fun. The freedom that you get to choose which guns you want to use, experimentation, trying out different things, the power of using nukes, and the genius behind mechanics like hopping on top of pterodactyls. Like, who would ever thought? It's a game that trusts your curiosity over instruction, chaos over polish, fun over perfection. And sometimes that's all you need. So out of the top 10 most legendary games that formed my childhood, why is Nanosaur still sticking around for me? Well, this is the part where I have to be honest. It's not just about the game, but about why I like the game. First of all, Nanosaur doesn't overstay its welcome. And that matters a lot more for me now than it did when I was a kid. There's just one level. I know I mentioned earlier that there could be so much more, but one level, one objective, one loop, you don't feel like it takes a ton of time commitment. You don't feel like you're stuck like, oh, I gotta set apart like 2 to 3 hours for this game. No, you can be done in 20 minutes. So you play it, you enjoy it, and then you're done. Especially now in a world where every game wants to be 80 hours long, packed with so many different systems, skill trees, side quests, and emotional investment, Nanosaur is refreshingly small. It respects your time. It doesn't ask for commitment. It just says, hey, have fun for a little bit. And it is fun. It's challenging enough to keep you on your toes, especially on intense mode, but never in a way that feels punishing or exhausting. You're always engaged, always moving, always reacting, but you're not stuck banging your head against a wall. Now let's briefly discuss the part that probably stands above the rest for why this game is so impactful for me: nostalgia. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I'd enjoy this game nearly as much if I were playing it for the first time today with no history attached. This is a high nostalgia game. Easily a 9 out of 10 on the nostalgia meter.
That's quite big.
I vividly remember watching my dad play this game when I was really little, sitting nearby, not fully understanding what was happening, but being completely locked in by the music, the dinosaurs, the explosions. Those memories were tied to a simpler time, when games felt mysterious and life was just simpler. And those memories matter. They color the experience in a way that's impossible to separate. Every time I play Nanosaur, I'm not just playing a game, I'm revisiting those early childhood memories. So yeah, this game heavily relies on nostalgia for me, but outside of the nostalgia, the jetpack mechanic does absolutely slap, so I will give it that. Flying across the map, shooting dinosaurs from above, raining destruction down, it still feels awesome. It's pure freedom, pure chaos, and it's genuinely fun in a way that holds up pretty well for what it is. So yeah, nostalgia lifts this game, no doubt about it, but there's still real design here, real fun, real moments that work, even playing it today. And honestly, that's more than enough for me. So if you're looking for a fun old game that you can play in under 20 minutes, this game's for you. It's fun, and I'd recommend it even if you don't have that nostalgia factor. Hey, why not have that nostalgia factor start today? You know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that for some of you, this brings back some great memories of playing this game earlier on. And with that, I'm out. See y'all later.